What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of the BrandonJaneauShow. As you already know, you can follow me on all podcast platforms everywhere. Sometimes you might have to space it out. Sometimes you have to clump it together. But either way it goes, it's still BrandonJaneauShow. Hope you guys been enjoying the new episodes that have been out this week. Excuse me. Uh, as well, social media platforms: BrandonJaneauShow, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, social media platforms. Brandon Janeau Show. It's about Facebook where it's the Brandon Janeau Show. Don't know why, but it's the Brandon Janeau Show. But it's still me. You, the logo will be on on there, so it's me. And just like always, man, YouTube channel, Brandon Janeau Show. Go there, follow, subscribe. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Shout out to everybody that's been commenting or liking the new clips that's been out there, videos that's been out there. Appreciate you guys. I got a new episode coming out. Life and Times of Music that starts off the new podcast week. Life and Times of Music, Big Sean. So that's Sunday. Hope you guys enjoy that episode when it comes out. This episode will be after this, clearly. But yeah, speaking of Life and Times of Music, tonight I will be doing another Life and Times of Music. This one is an album. I've done a couple of these Life and Times of Music where I've picked an album that I really love, I really just enjoy listening to, and I'll just, talk about the album pretty much and all of its greatness. And tonight is one of those albums. But if you have been following me on social media, you know that this album that I'm doing tonight from one of my favorite artists. I've said this numerous times. I actually did a podcast episode on him, Life of Times of Music, called Life of Times of Music, Ed Sheeran. So tonight I'm talking about Ed Sheeran's album X Multiply. One of my favorite albums. And so let's get into it. So, man, uh, like I said numerous times, Ed Sheeran is one of my favorite artists. And Multiply was was clearly the first album that I ever heard from Ed Sheeran. I love Lego House. I love 18. Give Me Love. You Need Me and I Don't Need You. But Multiply was the first album that I actually really got from Ed Sheeran, and I really just enjoy listening to. That was one of the best projects that I heard in 2014, and I actually fell in love with this album before the album even came out. He was on the Jonathan Ross show. I think that's what it was. He was on the Jonathan Ross show before promoting this album, and he had performed three songs off this album on the Jonathan Ross show. Sing, Don't, and Don't wasn't even out yet, and Thinking Out Loud, and that wasn't even out yet. And I was like, damn, he was already becoming one of my favorite artists, but that I heard that, and I was like, dude is one of my favorite artists. I knew right then and there this album was gonna be special. I actually pre-ordered it on Apple iTunes before it even came out. Uh, it was one of those albums, man, that I just had to listen to when I got it, and it did not disappoint. It's one of my favorite albums of the 2010s, to be honest with you. So many great songs on this album. It's 15 songs in total. I mean, if you take it into the deluxe edition, so I'm gonna be talking about all 15 songs and why I love these songs so much. If you've seen Live Times Music, where I've actually just talked about the album, you know what these songs are. You know what I do with these. So um, let's get into it. Uh, so Ed Sheeran Multiply X album is tonight's Life and Times Music album breakdown. I don't like calling it an album breakdown. It sounds so like obvious, but I'm gonna come up with a better name than album breakdown. Yeah, like the album review, which is also stupid to say. I don't like that either. Um, yeah, I'm gonna come up with a name. Anyway, let's get into it. Um, So X Multiply kicks off with the first track in one. Um, it's such a good song. It starts off the album pretty well. Um, it's not over the top. It's not crazy. It's not overly um, guitar playing. It's very um, very how can I say this? It's very sentimental. You know what I'm saying? It's very melodic. It's very calm, and you know the beat is very um calming. It's very interesting how this album starts off. One is one of those songs, and one of the best intros that I've heard. Again, very just it kind of goes into what he is as an artist. He doesn't have to do a lot on this project. It was really a good project and a very great song to start off. The video is also really cool. It's like him in the stadium without any fans. I think he's just sitting in the stadium and just did a video. So it's black and white. So it's on YouTube. Uh, and it might be on Apple too as well. If you hit the album. Going into the track number two, I'm a Mess, which is a fire fucking track. Uh, for what is one was very it didn't have a lot of upticks on the guitar riffs or anything like that. Whereas for I Am a Mess, it builds during the song. You hear it, and shout out to my brother DC because he says he loves this song, and I'm a Mess is a fire fucking song. It like I said, the beat builds as the song continues to go, and yeah, it's such a good fucking song. If you heard I'm a Mess, you know what I mean. So it's one of those songs that you just it leads right into track three, which is Sing. And this song was produced by Pharrell. I remember watching the Multiply um, documentary when he did one for MTV, and he got in the studio with Pharrell. And at the time, Pharrell's been one of the greatest producers of all time. But at this time in 2014, he was fucking hot. Like, God, God, like him and Def Punk had already dropped a song. Happy was a massive fucking hit. The fucking hat that he was wearing was like a trending topic every fucking way you turned. And to get Ed Sheeran and him on the song, him producing this song for Ed Sheeran was crazy. Um, Sang, oh, yeah, that shit was fire, man. Sang was fire, man. If you actually remember this video, the video is really dope. It's Ed Sheeran kind of in a bar with a puppet. Like it's like Pharrell, Ed Sheeran, and a puppet that's Ed Sheeran. That's like an Ed Sheeran puppet. Uh, which is funny as hell. And it kind of reminds me of before I Can't Feel My Face, The Weekend. This was kind of the first one where it was in a bar. It was like a karaoke bar, and a puppet's on stage with a guitar singing Ed Sheeran sing. So it was pretty fucking funny. But the song is so fucking catchy. It's a fucking very catchy song. Sorry about that. But it's a very catchy song, and which again it leads into the next track, which is a perfect lead. Track four, Don't. Again, when I heard it on the John Ross show, I was like, yo, this shit is fire. Because it's just him, guitar, and a fucking loop. So you're like, I don't know how this song out. And this shit immediately. And this was when he said, he met a parent. I think a parents was asking him why he was cursing in his songs. Because if you actually watched the John Ross episode when he did Don't, he's cursing. You know, if you heard the song before, you hear, you know, don't fuck with my love. My heart is so cold. Like, and you hear him saying, you hear, don't fuck with my love. Like, and if you saw it live when he did it, he curses in this song, but he muted the curses when don't when my love, and it's still fucking good. It's still good. The video is kind of interesting though. It's like a break dancer dancing through the fucking video. It's funny. It's crazy. But Don't is one of those songs that you remember where you were when you first heard it, and it's another classic song, and it's a dope fucking song. Actually, seeing him perform a song, sing and Don't live is pretty dope. He did it at the Divide. He did at the Divide concert. I hope he does it at. I hope he does it at the the Equal concert because I'm going to the Equal tour. When it comes to Houston in May, can't wait for that show. It's gonna be really dope. But seeing him perform "Don't" live is really dope. Which goes into track five, and this is where it kind of the album starts to pick up a little bit. Like song, "Sang" is a pickup track, "Don't" is a pickup track, but Nina is fucking fire. And it's one of those album tracks that you when you hear it for the first time, you immediately love it. Like you gravitate towards it. It's such a fucking classic, man. It's such a great class song, man. I love this song to death. Um, what he said? Oh, Nina, don't you? What is shit? No, Nina, don't you go, Nina, 'cause I ain't never coming home. You know what you did to me now. Yeah, Nina's a fire fuck song. I fuck that song and fuck it up, but y'all know what I mean. But Nina's a dope fucking song, man. That shit is fire. The beat is also really dope. It's such a fire fucking song. Then it kind of comes down a little bit in track six, Photograph. I want to tell y'all something. I did not like Photograph when I first heard it. It grew on me. It like the first time I heard it, I'm like, that's weird to go from this super upbeat, three songs straight was super upbeat. Even Mess at the end of it was a super upbeat song. And the Photograph was just so like calm. I was like, what the fuck is this? And I didn't like it at first. And that's usually how I am. And then I started like sitting down and just listening to the project fully. And it quickly became a song that I love of this project. It was like, wow. I was like, I get it. I get why he did it. Um, yeah. If it was like the if it was just these 12 songs, not the deluxe, I would probably say it'd be my least favorite song though. Photograph was it had to grow on me. I'm not gonna sit here and like it didn't have to grow on me. The songs that he had on this project, it had that song had to grow on me. Because number seven is Bloodstream, and I immediately love Bloodstream. Like, like I was like, yo, he performed that shit live. Oh my god, that shit. You can hear people like, holy fuck. Like, let me explain. To watch him do this live is fucking crazy. I saw him do it at the Billboard or AMA somewhere on an award show. He did this song live on an award show. Go and see him do this actually at a concert. It's literally him, the guitar, the loop. But he's got another mic on the side just to do the because he has no background singers, he has no background choreography. He's literally just a guitar, mic stand, loop beat, a loop machine on the ground, and another mic to make the background noises and everything. And the loop, he's hitting the loop while he's making the background noises. And to see him perform Bloodstream is fucking crazy because you see him do it and you're like, no way in hell he's gonna figure this out. How the fuck is that gonna work? And by the end of the song, by the end of him performing this song, you're like, you have a new respect for him. You have a new respect for him. Bloodstream is one of them songs, man. Uh, like I said, immediately when I heard it, I gravitated towards it. I was like, yo, this shit is fire. The beginning of it is so fire. What he said, I'm sipping on red wine. I've been sitting here for ages, ripping out pages. How'd I get so faded? How'd I get so faded? Yeah, that shit. I got two women by my side. I got sitting on my mind, sipping on red wine. Like it was so good. Like yo, yeah, bloodstream. And then he goes, like I said, then what he says, all the voices in my mind calling out across the line. All the voices in my mind calling out across the line. And when he does that live, it's so fucking great because he's already singing it. And then he does it, and then he now sings it into the other mic. It's so fucking crazy, man. Bloodstream is one of them songs, man. But he also sung this track eight, Tenerife Sea. I didn't like the song at first either. Because he go from Bloodstream to then again a very slow song. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck? Um, but hearing him sing this live as well, it was really dope. And I've grown a newfound respect for this. I'm not even gonna lie. Tenerife Sea is actually grown and it's actually a really good song. I like this song a lot. But it ain't fucking with track nine. If I love Bloodstream, I immediately love Runaway. This shit was so good. It was it might be my favorite. Nah, I can't say it's my favorite song. It's in damn sure running for my favorite song off this project. Runaway was such a fire fucking song. Still to this day, it's probably one of my favorite songs by Ed Sheeran. Definitely. Track 10, The Man, is just as fucking good. Oh man, that shit is so good. Yeah, man. Track 10 is fucking fire. And then it goes right into track 11, which is everybody's song, which everybody knows the song. It's Thinking Out Loud. Like I said, when I saw him on John Ross sing this live uh, on John Ross, he didn't have the electric guitar. He just had his own guitar. And I remember like listening to the song, being like, this was the song that sold me on the album. Don't was cool. Don't was like, okay, this album's dope. Sang was fire. This was the song that immediately sold me on the album. Thinking Out Loud was immediately a hit for me. I was like, yo, this shit is gonna be massive when he finally drops it. It was a fucking massive hit. It literally was a massive fucking hit, man. Um, Not just him, but Ryan Tether, like from One Republic, who is a hell of a songwriter. Um, One Republic is like one of my favorite groups. So to see them two always work together and do great, and they got another song off of the Vibe, Happier. And immediately when I heard Happier, I was like, this is the best fucking song I've heard in years. And same thing with Thinking Out Loud. This song was written by him and Ryan Tether. And immediately I knew this song was probably the best song I've heard. Like, and you know it's real when it's still continuously being used for weddings and all these other things. It's one of those songs. Like I say, man, go see Ed Sheeran live because me saying it won't do you justice. When you actually see him perform this live, it's different. It's a different type of energy. Um, Track 12, A Fire of Love, which okay, this might be my favorite song of the project. I'm not even gonna lie. Like if it was just 12 songs, this was my favorite song of the album. The piano, it was just perfect. It was a perfect song, man. I love this song a lot. Track 13. Now this is my favorite song of the album. I know I've been saying that a lot, but I love this album very much. This is my favorite song of the album. Take It Back, which is adding the deluxe. This is my favorite song. Take It Back, because he's rapping. He's literally doing a guitar, but he's rapping the entire song. And he does his hook. He's singing the hook, but I realized right there and there, holy shit, this dude can rap. Like, holy fuck, I've heard him rap. All you need me, I don't need you. But this was like, this immediately became my favorite song. Excuse me. You know, yeah. This is one of my favorite Ed Sheeran songs. Take It Back. It is one of my favorite Ed Sheeran songs. Um, Track 14, uh, Short Sleeves. Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool song. And even my daddy does sometimes cool songs. I feel like you should have just ended it with the 13 because those are great songs. But yeah, all in all, man, Multiply is probably one of the best albums of the last decade. I will easily say, out of just music, it's probably one of the best albums of the last decade. It kind of gets kind of put in the background sometimes because Lonely Hour came out by same Sam Smith at that time, and I forgot what else came out around that time, but this was one of my favorite albums that I had heard. Like I said, I pretty much purchased this album immediately when I first saw him perform. Saying it don't, and of course thinking out loud. And I knew this was gonna probably be the best album that I had made a purchase for in a minute. And so, when you run down this track list, this is probably the best. It, yeah, this is one of my favorite albums, and it still to this day is holding up. I listened to this album before I got on here earlier today, and I can still sing all of these songs and nothing changes. I love these songs, every single one of them. Uh, I kind of wish he would have put um uh what's the fuck it? I See Fire from the Hobbit movie. I wish he actually would have put that on there. Or Lay It All on Me. Uh, you know, he's one of my favorite artists. Like I said, I can't wait to see him May 12th. Here in Houston. It's gonna be in the where the Texans play. If you ever you watch football, Houston Texans. Gonna be in there. I got floor seats, which is pretty fucking cool to be on the floor in Reliance Center. That's fucking great in NRG Stadium. But to watch this man perform, this is my second time watching him going to a concert. Like I said, he's one of my favorite artists. And I will be doing a verses with this album in Divide. Don't know when, but I will be doing one. Um, I will tell you this, man. Go listen to this album. If you're not a huge, if you don't know who Ed Sheeran is, first of all, go listen to this album. If you know who Ed Sheeran is, you know why I say go listen to this album because this album's fucking fire. Uh, and if you are an Ed Sheeran fan, go listen to this album because it's fucking fire. Um, um, the man is truly one of the best artists in this genre in music right now. I don't feel like he waters down his music for anybody, and this album was literally the beginning of me being a fan. So it was like, well, I was already a fan, but this was the album that really solidified me being a fan of his. Um, just every song on this album was like a hit. And in 2014, also I was going through a lot at that time. So you know, being 20 years old, not really knowing a lot, going through so much shit. It's probably the best thing I've done was buy this album. The man helped me out so much when I was going through shit. Don't help me out when I was going through shit. Runaway was, of course, helping me out when I was going through shit. And Take It Back, all of these songs helped me when I was going through shit. So every album, like I say, has something of value to me. And for 15 songs off of a project, this is probably one of the best projects I've heard in a decade, like I said. And I would say this is probably, if I had to rank albums of the last decade, it would be highly up there. It'd be like in my top five of albums that I've heard in a decade. I know people would say think I'm crazy, but out of every music genre ever, out of all the artists I've heard in the last decade, this would definitely be top five, maybe top three, because of what the significance of this album meant to me, what Ed Sheeran as an artist has meant to me, and yeah. So like again, go listen to this album. Again, thank you for tuning in. If you are listening or you watching it on YouTube or on podcast platforms, thank you. Uh, I'll be back with another Life of Times with music, and it will be a debate. I think it will be a debate. I think I will be doing a debate, and the debate will be Rick Ross, his two albums, Teflon Don versus Mastermind. So stay tuned for that. That is coming soon. Until then, I am Brandon Janeau. X, the album Multiply, Ed Sheeran is the album that I debated, that I talked about tonight. I hope you guys enjoy this when it comes out. Until then, I am Brandon Janeau, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.